Merry Christmas, dear church.
Merry Christmas.
I remember when my brother and I were kids, there was always this turning point, sometime I think in mid-December, when we finally really knew that Christmas actually was on the way. If memory serves correctly, it was probably on a Saturday morning or something of the sort, when our folks would clear off the old cedar chest under the picture window in the living room and would open its aromatic wondrousness as together my brother and I would peer inside and behold its varied contents of Christmas decor of all sorts, nestled in carefully just as it had been 11 months prior, so that now we could again use it to prepare our home and ourselves for the holiday to come. And of course, we'd have to take out every last thing from the chest, right? And unravel strand after ancient strand of big, bulbed, multicolored Christmas lights manufactured well before the era in which we were born. And there were the garlands, and the creche scene, and the books, and the bows, and the candles, and knickknacks aplenty, of course, and then the tree would go up, and we'd place all the ornaments just so, as Bing Crosby serenaded us in 33 revolutions per minute of long-play vinyl. It was then, I think, that we knew that Christmas was indeed really bringing good news of great joy for all people, and it seemed like we got a front row seat. It was inescapable. And it's this anticipation, this bit of holy longing that we experienced as kids and that all of us still experience as we move towards the holy day ahead of us. It's this bit of anticipation that makes this season what it is and drives our imaginations to ponder what all this Jesus coming into the world stuff really means for us. Because when it gets down to it, this good news of great joy for all the people is way more than fun presents and that third glass of eggnog and snowball fights when we're afforded the luxury of snow. For this is about a God who decides to be born in the world anew, as a human, in a tiny body like our bodies, with tiny lungs like our lungs, taking tiny breaths like the breaths we take that make for incredible screams that fill the night with this good news that God is indeed among us and is no longer far off, and that all will be right in the world soon and very soon. For Christmas meets us right in this middle space of recognizing the world as it is, but also beckoning us to lean towards the world as God is creating it to be, as it needs to be, as we hope it soon will be. And the season calls us then, I think, to an active dissonance of sorts in this middle space that draws us forward to fulfill these deep yearnings of our souls for God to make right all these things that we seem to not be able to make right on our own. And I use the term dissonance quite intentionally here. For especially in the realm of music, a little bit of dissonance goes a long way to make our experience of music what it is. Its evocative push and pull, the emotions that move our body. For when we experience something musically dissonant, all of a sudden we pay close attention to what's happening around us because we naturally want to respond to it, to do something about it, to resolve the chord if we can. Let me illustrate. Glenn, if you would slowly roll into a chord that's not quite resolved, that has a little bit of dissonance. Give us something. I mean, that's sort of a leaning chord that leads us towards what we want to resolve. That's just a chord on the organ that makes us want to fix it, right? So what about the dissonance in the world around us? The dissonance of folks without enough food to eat tonight, or without a place to sleep this week. What about the dissonance of the coastal populations around the world that are thinking about moving inland because of the rising sea level? What about the dissonance in our world of folks who don't have a safe place to stay as they flee from violence in their own country? When Christ enters our world in the person of Jesus, God takes on the very dissonance of our shared humanity and leans with us toward the good and holy work that makes it right, that resolves the chord, that erases that dissonance that we just can't get rid of. For if Christmas tells us anything, it reminds us that, of course, we're not alone in our struggles because God is with us, and that we have this advocate then who comes alongside of us to resolve these dissonances so that new life might emerge beyond them. So this Christmas, dear church, I invite you to lean into that dissonance. Lean into it hard. And know that God is with us and will see us through it all. Amen? Amen. Merry Christmas.